Hi folks, Jim here at Babies. Just thought I'd show you my beekeeping inspection kit that I take with me every time I check my hives, what it consists of, and maybe there's a few things that you could suggest that I add to it, or stuff that you don't already have that might be useful for you. So we'll start at the business end. Most of the time I do use a smoker, which I keep in a ammunition case that I acquired off the eBay. I do have a larger one, this is a fairly small one. The reason why I store it in this is basically because, I don't know whether you can see, got rubber seals all the way around it. It means it's pretty much airtight, so you can leave your smoker lit in here. It'll effectively starve it of oxygen, but it'll just about keep ticking over, providing you're not going miles and miles and miles between inspections. Otherwise, ultimately, it will go out. I believe. Let's have a quick look. Yep, got some hessian at the bottom of that and some cardboard ready to light it, so that's good to go. And some spare cardboard and hessian that is just kept in there for storage. So I think I paid about £10 or so for this, and to be fair, it's about 3 or 4 years old. It's great, it's really held up well. Then I go onto my hive caddy, which has everything that I need really. Obviously got some hive tools, queen marking pens, queen clip. I need to get a few more of these actually, because they do break pretty easily. Notepad, and a pencil somewhere in there, because sometimes you're not always going to remember everything that you're going to be doing as you check your apiaries. Could be something simple you forget. Now, I use rubber gloves. Reason being is, it's easy to feel what you're doing with them. There's less chance of you crushing bees. There you go. And there goes the daily train. Yeah, I use rubber gloves. So basically, I use these because it's easy to feel what I'm doing. Less chance of me crushing bees. The negative side of it is, yes, the bees can sting you through them, but if you're fairly careful, you shouldn't get that happen. But again, we can't rule it out. These are about £5 or £6 for a pack of 50 or so. Really good. What else have we got? Right, not many people use this. This is bee smoke spray. You'll see on future videos that I've got some omelette bee houses, the big long hives, and you used to be able to buy this from them, neat, and you'd mix a couple of capfuls of it. Now I do use this for convenience, because instead of lugging around that thing, which is a few kilos, I can just take this little spray bottle. The difference is, should I say, this will take the edge off bees fractionally, just enough to get what you're doing. If you've got a particularly grumpy colony, or you're foolishly inspecting at the wrong time of day and there's a thunderstorm due and they're particularly aggravated, I would use a smoker. Again, this is really good. You can't buy it anymore, the pre-mixed stuff from Omelette, because they've basically stopped selling bee house related stuff. They might sell a few bee accessories, but they don't sell the hives. That's really, really good. Just that disclaimer, should I say, just enough to take the edge off bees. If you've got a grumpy colony, it's not going to make any difference to their personality, etc. Right, onwards. What else have we got? Got a bee brush. Self-explanatory. I just use this to basically clean off basically shuffle bees along. It's pretty good. It doesn't cheese them off too much, but it does help. You're saving, not crushing them. Queen marking cage, they're good. Get them online. You can go to like AliExpress, places like that, and you can get 3 or 4 of them for a tenner. They do break, but they are really good. You pull your little hatch down, get your queen, slide that back, and with the other hand, obviously, you're making it one hand, you can slide that up, gently, literally, just restrain the queen, don't crush her. Little blob of marking pen paint, which we've got there. Let it dry for a few minutes, and then she can go back in the colony. Really good. Definitely recommend getting a few of these. dead useful. Right, on to the big practical chunky things. Hive ratchet straps. I use a couple of different sizes depending on what I'm tying down. He says dropping them. So I've got the small ones, which are little clip ones. They're pretty good. Drawbacks are the webbing on it's quite narrow compared to this. Well, similar. It's not as robust, whereas this is a hooked ratchet strap, really good. I think they're rated up to several hundred kilos or something ridiculous. Very good for strapping things down, you know, hives to stands, hives in trailers, stuff like that. Very much recommend them, really good. I think these, they've crept up in price like everything else, hasn't it, last years, but these are about, don't quote me, 5 or 6 quid each, something like that. These are considerably less, are, you know, a few pounds each, but again, pretty lightweight, you know, decent length. They're about 2 or 3 meters or so in length, but they don't have the ability to be tensioned as much as these. These are incredibly good. Do recommend them. Bulky but good. Right, what else can I show you? Hive lifting tool, well, frame lifting tool. Me being me, I do a lot of things one-handed. Really good. Pick up your pick up any hive frame really. Clamp it together, so that gets in focus, and pick your frames up. Really good. Works quite well. About 5 or 6 quid. Very useful. What other bits and bobs are going? Aha, yes. I wonder what these are for. Elastic bands, self-explanatory to a degree. If you're rescuing a colony, let's say a wild colony, and you're cutting out comb, and you've got frames without foundation in, you can put elastic bands around these. You've probably seen, like, Texas Bee Works is a great example. She uses a lot of time, and so does, you know, the majority of the beekeepers really. Allows you to put the comb that you cut out into a frame, and the bees then would eventually, over a few weeks, start using it. Start knitting it together really. But the elastic bands just keep it relatively straightforward to put into a frame once you cut it. So, parcel tape, or painting tape, I suppose, is the best description of this. I use this to put around the edge of poly hives. If you see down there, I've got a couple of hives. There's a poly one there. Where we are in the northwest of the UK, the weather can be really bad, and if you're not going to go into your hives for quite some time, sometimes it's not a bad idea to put this painter's tape around the joins of your poly hives, just to minimise any water getting in. I mean, I've yet to have a poly hive where water has got in, but it's, you know, a bit of peace of mind really. Just a useful thing to have. Right, I think that is pretty much everything. Yes, so that's my caddy, and when I take to me on my apiary inspections, you can, you know, granted it's a name brand, each to their own kind of thing, but yeah, that's what I take. That's all I need. Granted, if I move any equipment around, you know, I'll be taking it with me, but this is kind of like my bread and butter daily inspection, well, everyday carry to apiary inspection. You know, it's the only things I need really. I mean, to be honest, most of the time the apiaries that I've got, guys, is quite close to where I can park the car. So most of the time I literally just take the hive tool, my smoke spray, or the smoker, obviously gloves and my kit, and that's all I need. If I need this, you know, any of this, like queen clip or marking pad, I can always nip back to the car, or if I've got a feeling that I'm going to be marking a queen that day, I can just take it with me. So all in all, that's my kit. I hope some of that's been of help to you. Hope you're all good, and waiting patiently to do your first inspections. Anyway, that's it from me. Bye for now, and I'll catch you on the next one.